Well, the Indian Army has issued a clarification on the status of the medical facility at Leh. The Army says that there has been certain malicious and unsubstantiated accusation in some quarters regarding the status of the facility that was visited by Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday during his visit to the General Hospital in Leh to meet those injured Galwan clash soldiers. It has been saying that it is unfortunate that certain aspersions are being cast on how our brained armed forces are being treated. The armed forces have been given the best possible treatment to the personnel, and it is further clarified as far as the facility is concerned. It is a part of the crisis expansion capacity, having around 100 beds, and is very much part of the General Hospital complex. The COVID protocol has also been necessitated in some of the wards of the General Hospital to be converted into isolation facilities. Hence, this hall, which otherwise was normally used as a training audio-video hall, was converted into a ward ever since the hospital was also designated as a COVID treatment hospital. Our executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor, is with us because when those pictures came in and the Prime Minister, how he was boosting the morale of our injured Jawans who were part of the Galwan clash, Abhishek, they would rather notice unusual things. They would not notice that the Prime Minister is speaking to the Jawans, but they would notice there are no hospital equipments in and around the beds that has been facilitated to those injured Jawans, and that's how this controversy started, the Army putting an end to that controversy.
Well, absolutely. In fact, Amita, it goes beyond that. Army has clarified that through an official release of PIB that this facility is especially created, keeping in mind COVID quarantine measures that are in place. In fact, before that, when the Corps Commander had gone to visit the same soldiers, or before that, even the Army Chief, when he had gone to visit the soldiers twice, in fact, he had gone in the same facility. And this is a dedicated facility for the soldiers who had come in from the Galwan Valley after that action there on the night of June 15-16. And Prime Minister also visited the same facility. So it's not about anything specifically having been created for Prime Minister, but it is about Army having a facility, keeping in mind the COVID quarantine measures where the Prime Minister was taken. So there was a motivated propaganda. An attempt was made to show or project a picture of a conference room having been converted just for the Prime Minister, which is not the case. It's a COVID quarantine facility and a 100-bed facility that has been created even before the Army Chief went a fortnight back immediately in the backdrop of the Galwan incident, and it's just not for the Prime Minister, so that bit of clarification coming in from the sources in the Army, official sources in the Army.
Well, Abhishek, to further go into that clarification, it's been mentioned that the injured braves who have been kept there ever since their arrival from Galwan to ensure that they are kept separately from the COVID areas. Now, these things actually need to be kept in mind. And also when Chief of the Army Staff General M.M. Narwane had visited the area, and the Army Commander who visited the injured braves were also in the same location. So why this controversy?
Exactly. So, I mean, we saw all the pictures yesterday, Amita, of the Prime Minister, for example, addressing the troops at the Nimu front, and then again at the base hospital where this special facility has been created. Just because there is a projector and a screen, that does not mean that the same facility cannot be created or turned into a COVID quarantine measure. We have seen how railway coaches have been converted into COVID quarantine facilities. We have seen how hotels have been converted into COVID quarantine facilities. So it seems that some people had an itch that why the soldiers are getting such a good facility. Maybe that's why that propaganda was on, particularly on social media. And now Army officially slamming it as, motivated and saying that or explaining from its point of view that this is a 100-bed facility that had been created even before the Prime Minister's visit. In fact, Prime Minister's visit was planned only the night before he flew in the morning. So it's not that this facility could have been created 15 days in advance, anticipating that the Prime Minister would come someday. So even that in itself is proof that
Yes.
whatever was being done in terms of the pictures and trying to project a certain or give a certain color to them was motivated propaganda, and Army calling the bluff there.
And now that has been put to rest with this clarification that is coming on part of the army's side. Thanks very much, Abhishek, for the same.